All right, so it's 30 minutes, guys.
Dang, what do you guys think of that intro? Pretty intense, right? Let's jump right into it here. This is the Cat 4-5 field. Got my teammates Wally and Micah. We are wearing the blue Bob's kit. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and point out a few of the riders that made an impact in today's race. Right here we have Chris. He rides for the Trek Boise store. He was in the last video as well. He's getting stronger. Right here, you can never count out the birds. They're all over the place. Garrett right here, he's a homie, super strong rider. And then right here in front of me, Cade, he had this kit on that said Texas, Jesus, and Tacos, and I respect that a lot. Anyways, he was wearing polka dot last time, I'm pretty sure. Super strong in this race. He was someone to look out for, and you'll see why here in a bit. As a team, we should probably really decide what our strategy is going to be and try to do that more effectively, but we don't. We kind of talk about it a little bit before the race. More or less, Micah and Wally, they shut down any attacks. They try to stay more toward the front. Last week, ended in a sprint, and so I figured that's probably what was going to happen today, and so I kind of just sat in for the majority of the race. If I did get toward the front, I would kind of just sit up, not do a whole lot of work. This section of the course, it was a crosswind, and so if you get to the outside here, you can make up a lot of wheels fairly easy without doing much. So anyways, yeah, you see, I get to the front, and then Wally takes a flyer here, which is perfectly timed. And once I saw that it was him coming around me, I just sat up, didn't do much, and just allowed everybody else to kind of bridge that. So here you see Chris goes up, he takes a few birds riders. You see Cade coming up on my right. And you see Micah in my rear cam, and him and I just kind of take a free ride. Comes back together. This happened quite a bit throughout the whole race. Right here, once again, you see Wally up in that group in front of us, and then Micah's just to my right hip. Him and I, you can look at our watts. We're not doing anything, letting that gap open up, and just seeing what the field will do. So that's kind of what we were trying to do for the first part of the race here, and I ended up drifting pretty far back into the group a lot of times. Didn't see what was going on a whole lot, but figured, hey, rest up for the sprint. And that comes back to bite me. So if you look right here, you got Cade up in the front with two birds and just a tiny little gap, maybe two bike lengths. Anyways, Cade's a smaller guy. The birds are obviously smaller dudes. That small little gap, I mean, this is the headwind section, so they're able to hammer through that a little bit better than maybe a heavier guy like me or someone else. Anyways, we come through the chicane section here, and to be honest, I wasn't even aware at this point what was happening up the road, and to be honest, I didn't even know, still didn't know at this point. Anyways, I catch it on my camera here. So that little 2 bike length gap turned into about a 6-second gap. And once again, I had no idea. I was just kind of sitting in still. And to be honest, I don't blame Micah or Wally either. I mean, Cade taking 2 birds with them isn't super threatening. Here you see a little bit later, the birds actually come back. So now it's just Cade up there. Once again, I am oblivious, and I'm just sitting in, riding wheels, thinking, heck yeah, I'm going to be well rested for the sprint. About, I don't know, 2 or 3 laps to go. Wally takes a little digger and takes a few people with him, which, to be honest, I thought he was just kind of taking a flyer, maybe seeing if a brake would stick, but in hindsight, I think he was probably trying to chase back Cade to see if he can get him in the last couple laps here. Anyways, this is the final lap. We're coming around the corner here. We catch Wally with the birds, and Micah takes the front, and Chris is with us, and I figure, okay, I'll let Chris go in between us. That way, coming into the final lap, I can have just another wheel to follow and come around at the sprint. So here's the bell lap.
Keep it fast, Micah!
So I tell Micah to keep it fast, and he's probably thinking, dude, I've been on the front the entire race, and he did a race right before this, so he's probably gassed. And I'm just sitting third wheel thinking, all right, this is perfect. I'm gonna come around both these guys in the last corner and get first place. Coming into the back stretch, Micah pulls off, and that should have been my indication that he was fairly tired. Anyways, come around this corner, I start yelling at him.
Yeah, go, 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 go.
And yeah, he's gassed. So Chris got a jump on me. He timed it really well. I come around Micah on the far side, and you can't really see it here, but Garrett's actually on my left hip. So he gets an inside line on me. I start yelling at Chris, and he crosses. Chris, same thing. He didn't know that there was anybody ahead of us, so he's thinking he just got first. I'm thinking I got third because, Garrett pipped me at the line there. Couldn't quite get around him. Anyways, later we find out Cade had been up the road the entire time. Fun race, but kind of disappointing.